Come on! Oh, come on! Start. Press.
Come on, Dylan, push.
Easy.
Alright guys, so today I'll be going over the bench and what I've been doing to get a 525-pound bench at 19 and what will be doing to break the world record, total bench and deadlift. Stay tuned for that, powerlifting meet in a couple months. But we'll be going over a couple things. We're going to go over leg drive, bar path, hand placement, keeping your body tight, A to Z pretty much. We'll also be going over a stretch that I do every time I bench, just to keep my shoulders healthy. And let's get to it. All right guys, first you want to examine the bar. This isn't a typical standard bar. Usually there's just one of these, but these two are a little bit more out. But what I like to do, because not every bar is the same, I usually take my hand and put it right here where it starts to get balled on the knurling, and I always go a little bit over. So on a standard bar, it usually be like your third finger, which is your ring finger. I like to put it on the bar just because you're not too close and you're also not too wide. You see a lot of people, they do a little too wide, and yeah, it decreases the range of motion, but it's just putting so much stress on your pec and shoulders that I typically don't like it. I can't get as explosive too. So you just gotta find out. It's different for everybody. A lot of people like getting a little closer and a lot of people like getting wider, but I like getting right in the happy middle. So my typical stance, like I said, it's a little bit further, but usually on a standard bar, I'd be getting on my third finger, but I like getting on my pinky, just so I get a lot of tricep and chest, not just being one-sided. So a lot of people really do think bench is just a couple muscle exercise, but it really is a full body exercise. I am gonna get one in the stretching video how to properly stretch so you don't waste a lot of energy. But bench is a full body exercise, so you do have to warm up your legs, back, and everything. And I'm getting to a point why you need to warm up your back is because when you're benching, you don't want to be flat on the bench like this. You want to decrease the range of motion, you need to retract your scapula, and instead of being flat, because this is dangerous for your pec and shoulders, if you see right here, this is where you're flat, and this is a dangerous point. Your chest is not stretched, you're not tight at all. If you just retract your scapula, that's like 3-4 inches right there, and then bring your chest, and then you decrease the range of motion by like 6-7 inches, which that's already gonna give you maybe 10-15 pounds on your bench if you're benching flat. And getting that arch in there, getting everything tight. And I'm gonna get later in the video how that helps you with your leg drive. Since you're so tight in your upper body, if you're tight in your lower body, it'll just be a full body movement at that point. But like this, you could do on the wall too. Retract your scapula, bring your chest towards the bar. Because when you are doing the bench exercise, you should be bringing the bar towards bringing the chest towards the bar. So it's like this versus flat. Flat, retract scapula, and bringing the bar towards your chest. So now we're gonna put all of that. We're also gonna be putting your feet. I'm gonna show you how to set up your feet and then retract your scapula, and the verses of being flat versus having your body tight, and that why bench is a full body exercise and why you need to incorporate legs and how to properly execute leg drive. So first, we already went over how you want to set up your fingers wherever you like, where you're a little closer, a little further. That's where you examine. Everyone's different, whether that's wingspan, body length, whatever. So what I do to get my body tight, I go put my fingers on the bar. I usually, if you look at my feet, I always have them right here. Whether you're furtheration, I like keeping my feet flat though. So I put my hands on the bar, I get back, put my feet close. Notice how I have my toes up, and I'm gonna have my toes flat at the end. Bring my body towards the bar, and then I shuffle my feet flat, and I'm tight. And in this position, everything is super tight. I have my retracted scapula. I'm bringing the bar towards you, and I'm really tight now. Versus this is flat, this is super tight. In that position, first of all, you're decreasing your range of motion, like I said, and you're also preventing injury, which is super good. Now I'm gonna be going where the leg drive is. So when you're focusing on leg drive, I'll sit right back down. When you're thinking about leg drive, you don't want to be pushing your legs up. You want to be thinking more of like a leg extension, and you're sliding back towards the bench. So instead of you do your thing, shuffle your feet, get them really tight, open up a little bit. When you go, don't think of like a hip thrust where you're like this. I see a lot of people doing that. Think of more of sliding on the bench. Think of more of sliding on the bench. Just like this, sliding back towards the bar. The reason is, I am so fucking out of breath. I'm out of breath and there's pre-workout on me. But that's why you want to get super tight. And that's why I said I like having the flat feet. And then I just shuffle it when I'm super tight and everything's locked in. That's now my upper body and lower body is super tight. And so the only thing now is when the bar comes down, you're pressing as a leg extension, not as a hip thrust. I know some people may watch this and they are going to think about doing a powerlifting competition, and you will get red lighted if your butt raises on the bench. And it's important to get these habits down because if you see the big bench pressers that bench 500, 600, 700 pounds, one little tweak can ruin or get yourself an injury. That's why it's super important to get super tight, get that leg drive. So like I said, there you go. Review where you want your hands at, where that's close or wide. Like I said, I go here. I bring myself towards the bar. Toes are up. Shuffle. Now my scapula is tight. My chest is tight. My legs are tight. I flare my elbows out. I flare them back in, and then now this is the bar path. So a lot of things that people mess up on too is they think when they're benching, it's straight down and up. It's not. It's more of a diagonal movement where you're going slightly down and at a diagonal movement towards your belly. This is another thing too. You're not gonna be really benching with your chest. A lot of powerlifters, they bench with their belly. And that's why that's why I was saying that you need to retract your scapula, is because in that movement, the top of your belly right here near your sternum is the highest point, and that's where you get the most power. If you see bodybuilders, they're always benching like this with their elbows out. Usually powerlifters, they have their elbows in a little bit, not too much. Don't want to get too much, but not too much out, because that will tear your pec. Like this, you're in the middle of it, diagonal down, diagonal up, and it shouldn't be dramatic where you're, it looks like a half V, but it should be just a little diagonal and a little bit diagonally up. So I'm gonna put it into the bench press now. Bring yourself towards the bar, retract your scapula, shuffle your feet, get them super tight, elbows out if you're doing a self lift off, flare them in a little bit, not too much, and then diagonal down towards the top of your belly, which is your sternum, or it should be close to your sternum, sorry. So like this. And then the leg drive, like I said, you're pushing towards the bench. And okay, another thing on leg drive. So another mistake I see people doing on leg drive is they're doing 100% of your leg drive once they get to the bottom. One thing I like to incorporate and have in my mind as a mental cue is 80% of leg drive is during the whole lift off, and then when you're about to press up is the next 20%. So we're gonna do it again. I have 80% leg drive right here. I'm keeping my glutes tight. I'm ready for that quad extension, that leg extension. Lift off, 80%, 20. So you're super responsive. All right, guys. So very important before you bench and after you bench, so always keep your shoulders healthy because that's one of the main things, your chest and your shoulder. What I like to do is get one of these handles. It could be this or a plastic one. And I always get on the bench and rotor to get that shoulder all nice and healthy. You can do about 2 sets of 15 of this one on the side. And you could also, I like to go all the way down. Right here, 2 sets of 15. And I'm doing that every time I bench, and I never had any shoulder problems because you are putting a lot of stress on that shoulder. And the main thing you want to do is keep healthy. You want to also increase mobility. Doing that, you will, and you'll get bulletproof shoulders. So.